Welcome to the root of it all. I'm Alicia and he's Scott. We can't really talk right now because we've been screaming so loud. It is Mardi Gras season, hence Mardi Gras. And we just came from a parade. It's the Krewe de Canailles, a walking parade. It's an artistic parade and it's freaking amazing. So happy Mardi Gras. Let the good times roll. Parades are a huge part of the culture of Mardi Gras in Louisiana. There's all different kinds of parades, but some of our favorite have been walking parades, which are parades that don't need barricades.
The parades are generally a little smaller, and as the name implies, everybody's walking. They're not in big trucks.
That's the main thing, is that barricades go up when there's big vehicles and big floats involved. And those are really, really heavy because they pull a lot of people on them, and the walking parade go back to self-propelled vehicles. So you're not going to be pulling a huge float if you have to pull it the whole
yourself.
The whole route. Because most of these routes are miles long.
Yeah, 2-3 miles long, somewhere in that range. The other really nice
The ones in New Orleans are longer than that.
That's true. The other really nice thing about walking parades is you get to interact with the partiers in the parade.
Because there's no barriers.
There's no wall there.
Yeah. You get to actually interact with the people in the parade.
Some of them will pull people from the crowd and just dance with them and play with them and just goof off and have a great time doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot more play because you can actually interact with the people in the parade, which is really fun. More cowbell.
Please, more cowbell. We got that fire, we got that fire, you say. We got that fire, we got that fire. Oh, we got that fire, we got that fire. We got that fire, we got that
Parades pick themes each year. The theme for the Krewe de Canailles is Louisiana festivals.
Louisiana has so many festivals in it. There's a festival going on every single day of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I could not name all of the festivals that they have in Louisiana. And I mean, just like Scott said, there's a festival basically every single day in Louisiana. So they picked a really rich theme for their costumes this year. Yeah, a lot of them revolve around food, but then there's ones that reference different like wetland area or stories, cultures in different area. One of our favorite parades is the parade Chewbacchus in New Orleans. It is also a walking parade, and they always choose sci-fi based themes. So people make a whole bunch of sci-fi based costumes every year. And we've gone a couple of years and made some pretty fun costumes. And costumes are really a huge part of Mardi Gras. It's about like hiding who you are and kind of getting to dress up and basically be somebody else for a day.
Just cut loose before the Lenten season.
Making masks, hiding your identity is all a part of the fun and frivolity that you can have. So one of the fun things that happens during Mardi Gras is you yell, "Throw me something, mister," and the crew throw you something. Honestly, like when I was younger, I was all about the throws. I mean, like people would freak out over stuffed animals or silken flowers or like, you know, big coconuts that they used to throw and like bonk people in the head in New Orleans. They don't throw those anymore. They hand them out.
When I was a kid, it was the javelins and hatchets that they would throw. And, you know,
they were made out of plastic.
They were plastic. Something else people freak out about is the clothing.
I mean, like any article of clothing, whether it's a t-shirt or maybe some unmentionable, people freak out because when a piece of clothing gets held up in the air, like crowds go absolutely bonkers. So that's kind of fun because with the walking crew, they make handmade t-shirts.
And they'll keep them just tightly balled up, and they'll just pick them up and throw a ball into the crowd.
Yeah, when they want the crowd to go absolutely wild.
Goes wild.
People will do crazy things to get t-shirts. And one of the cool things about the walking parades is there's a movement away from mass-produced beads.
Well, not all of them make the throw. Sometimes it's a little bit of a food stuff that they throw. Moon pie.
Like a moon pie. I got this from a rougarou, which is a Cajun werewolf. A French werewolf.
And then grits.
One of my old students gave me Kiss My Grits. And like I said, specifically with Louisiana festivals, you're going to have a lot of food-based themes. But then I also got this really cool, somebody just gave me this like handmade piece off of their costume, which was super cool. I complimented it, and she just gave me part of her costume, which this was a little fish hanging all over her costume, which had to do with the Louisiana swamps.
Some of the throws are buttons or little wooden doubloons. In some cases, you'll have seeds. It's more handmade stuff. It's more food stuff. It's not plastic trash.
Yeah, because there's a real problem around Mardi Gras for like beads getting stuck in storm drains. And so a lot of these walking crews are moving back to things that wouldn't necessarily cause a problem.
Okay, so what was your favorite part of the parade?
So when I was a kid, I really liked catching all of the stuffed animals and stuff. But now I think my favorite part is the marching bands. Like the bands that come through and the music that they play. If they're marching with a color guard, even better, because I love the like flags flying in the air. But especially when they get stuck right in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
For a while, I'd rather have a band get stuck right in front of me because they just continue playing more and more music. And so what about you?
Not so much the marching bands, but the small little groups of people out there who are just getting out on the street and they're just jamming away to their heart's content and just song after song and getting the crowd wound up and getting everybody dancing and moving.
You know exactly what band he's talking about. Honestly, they were our favorite part, and they got stuck in front of us for like nearly 20 minutes,
and
it was
awesome.
fabulous. It was really fun to see the mixture of costumes in the parade, and I saw some traditional country Mardi Gras costumes pass by. In fact, the people who were holding the Krewe de Canailles sign were dressed in the traditional. They're kind of made of rags and really brightly colorful
patchwork costumes.
Yeah. Those were really fun to spy because we actually made some of those a few years ago, dressed up like alligators.
Complete with the big Pope's hat style headgear.
And covering the face like a big alligator with like I can't even do it.
Wide open mouth.
Open mouth. And ran around in the country.
We walked, what was it, almost 10 miles that we were walking.
Yeah, because we were getting gumbo fixings, which is really important.
Chasing after chickens. There was a chicken on top of a pole that was a greased pole that everybody had to work together to try and climb and get the chicken off before we could move on.
We didn't get the chicken.
We didn't do that.
I mean, basically, you're creating a human pyramid, and they eventually got the chicken, and then there were more chickens that we chased into like the country, and horseback riding, and really fantastic musicians that played in a graveyard. I mean, this is something you don't forget.
It was a really good time.
Yeah. Mardi Gras is just one of the best times of year in Louisiana. You just get to act completely, learn this phrase, people, cray cray.
Everybody just cuts loose and gets a little cray-cray.
So I hope you enjoyed the cray-cray of the Krewe de Canailles. We are the root of it all.
I'm Scott.
I'm Alicia. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next adventure.